first stop is right here in Accra. The Korle Bu Accident Unit recorded 129 cases and 2 deaths during the Easter celebrations. Hospital authorities, who describe the figure as staggering, are calling on drivers to be more responsible on the roads. Etonam Say has more.
On Friday, April 18, the accident center of the hospital recorded 46 cases. 11 were road traffic accidents, 10 assaults, 2 bends and 2 foreign bodies, and 3 traumas. On Saturday, 41 cases were recorded, 23 of which were road traffic accidents, 5 trauma, 3 assault, 2 foreign bodies, and 2 bends. On Sunday, the center recorded 35 cases, 6 road accidents, 9 trauma, 8 assaults, and 2 deaths. As of 11:51 Monday morning, 7 cases were recorded and all were mild traumas. Hospital authorities, who would rather speak off camera, were worried the figures is the highest in the past 5 years recorded on Easter festivities and called on drivers to be responsible.
And drunk driving rose sharply on several roads in Accra on Easter Monday, and this resulted in several minor accidents, especially on the main ring road here in Ghana's capital, right in front of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. 2 saloon vehicles were involved in separate accidents. Well, the occupants had various degrees of injuries. Police had a tough time handling traffic as the situation had led to traffic build-up on the highway during the period. Which is about festivities, celebrations, and being a lot more safety conscious on the roads during such periods.
The Deputy Director in charge of nursing services at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital in Sia Anyate is calling for immediate renovation of the hospital to prevent further fire outbreaks. The hospital has not seen any major renovation since it was constructed some 108 years ago. The call comes a day after portions of the administration block of the hospital got burnt.
Authorities at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital are still trying to salvage the almost damaged administration block of the hospital. About 400 staff files, photocopiers, donated clothing and items for inmates, computer and its accessories, and a total amount of 700 Ghana cedis were part of items burnt by fire, which gutted the hospital around 10 p.m. Easter Sunday.
The patient number is going down because of the operation 600. We get a lot of them home and they are doing well, so the number is going down. We used to be about 1,200. Now we have 487 at the moment. Quite remarkable. But then we need to also improve the type of service we provide. As the patient number going down, the staff number also going up, which also come with improved logistics, improved environment. The idea of taking care of patients is about improving the environment, make them feel that they are also people, not to leave them as the people perceive them to be.
Called on the appropriate authorities to help renovate the hospital. And
this very reason is causing a lot of readmission, because the society has a mindset. So when they are discharged home, they don't see them as people they know. They see them as people who are not part of them, and they do not support them. So in no time, with the stress coming from societal distance, make a lot of them return. So we have a lot of readmission, and that is costing us a lot.
Meanwhile, Black Natal and Friends Charity Organization, as part of the Easter festivities, have donated items worth 6,000 Ghana cedis to the hospital, 15 crates of soft drinks, 10 bottles of water, 4 sacks of washing powder, some clothes, cash donations, toiletries were part of the items.
It's been over a month since the Adomi Bridge was closed to traffic. Well, in the following report, Joynews Gifty and Apia takes an exclusive guided tour of the renovation site, where work appears to be progressing steadily.
The tour began here, where steel decks are being constructed to replace what is currently on the Adomi Bridge.
Well, we are busy now with the demolition works of the old bridge deck, which is in full progress. We already removed the first section, and at the moment we are lifting out the second section. And here in the background you can see that we are already assembling the new steel sections, which are basically waiting to be installed.
Together with his deputy, the project manager, Dr. Paul Herman, took me further into the work field where parts of the bridge had been split and smaller parts of it being taken off. These are what the steel decks will be replacing.
On the bridge itself, at the moment we are standing on a section which, if everything goes right, in a few hours will not be here anymore. We are lifting it out at the moment. If you look over here, this is the first section which we already took out. And once the gap is open here, we are starting to install the new parts and connect them to the bridge, and then we will place here the first new section in a few weeks.
Okay. Dr. Herman further explained it's much safer to demolish the bridge in bits to maintain its balance, as well as the arc on top of it.
Thousands of Ghanaians have been inconvenienced with the closure of this bridge, but it has turned out to be a very necessary evil.
The team then took me to the other side of the bridge, which I'm told would be completely demolished. In the meantime, the parts of the bridge which have already been taken off have been deposited here to provide more balance as parts of the bridge are gradually being removed. They explained that although the outside of the bridge looked good, beneath it exposed a worrying extent of danger it posed, hence the urgent need for this renovation. Deputy Project Manager Ben Tete added, if well maintained, the bridge, which is currently being replaced by steel instead of concrete, when completed, could have a lifespan of about 100 years.
If it's built and instead of maybe 30 tons or 40 tons or 60 tons, you use trucks over 120 tons, then we are killing the bridge. So the lifespan of the bridge depends also on the users.
Going by the appropriate usage of the bridge, what should be the lifespan of this bridge, after the renovation?
You can easily estimate 100 years, at least.
Much diagnostics have not been carried out on the arc supporting the bridge. Dr. Herman tells me it will be cleaned and painted after the renovation, by which time any likely problems would have been detected. In the meantime, he promises a good job to the people of Ghana.
Very soon the bridge will be like new.
The Adomi Bridge serves as the major link between towns across the Volta River, as well as a marketplace for vendors operating in the catchment area. Those activities have been halted till after about 24 months, by which time the renovation exercise is expected to have been completed.
With the kind of work ongoing here, and with the assurances that we're getting from the technical team here, 22 or so more months seems way too much not to be optimistic that they will make the deadline that has been set out for this project. Gifty Andropia, Joynews, Adomi Bridge, Akonsombo.
Well, Gifty Andropia has also been speaking to some commuters who use private commercial boats to cross the Volta River, and they say these boats are much more comfortable and more convenient than the ferries.
Right by the Adomi Bridge, where the renovation is ongoing, is a boat transport system provided by private hands. It has also become necessary to help people cross over to either side of the Volta River for a fee, since the Senchi and Accra ferries tend to be much slower and overcrowded. An earlier 1 Ghana cedi charge by this private owner was vehemently opposed and subsequently reduced to 50 pesos. We were not allowed to film, but we managed to get these visuals when we took a trip to the other side ourselves. Unlike the owners who would neither let us film nor speak with the news team, the commuters did.
Sometimes in the night when you are crossing, it's so scary. You see the deep of the water, and the water becomes very dark, so you become scared when you are in the boat.
Do you know how to swim?
Nah, I can't swim.
And the price is okay. 50 pesos is okay. I feel good when I'm crossing, but the other one, I don't feel when I am just doing this. People have been stepping on it too, and the life jackets too have been dirty, so they should change it.
It's very nice. It's move fast than the pontoon. If you want to cross the river, they can come and pass here, because if you pass the other side, you'll be joining the queue, a long queue before. But if you pass here, it's just 5 or 3 minutes, and then you close the river to the other side. Okay, they are using life jackets, so I think it's okay.
Again, unlike the Senchi Ferry site, there is a functional and open public place of convenience for commuters here. Although they are quite content with the mode of transport rather than the ferry, they can't wait for the Adomi Bridge to be back in use.
I'm telling them God should take care of them, and they should be able to do the bridge for us.
I'll waste the finish it in no time, because this place is not all that convenient for us.
The owner is not so comfortable with us filming from there. But it has been an alternative route to a lot of commuters who use the Adomi Bridge. Although they are asking that the Adomi Bridge be completed in time, they're expressing comfort about the between here and the other side using this very boat. Kefti Andropia, Joynews, Adomi Bridge.
Well, and she'll be wondering, with the movement of heavy equipment and persons on top of a split bridge, Gifty has been asking about the safety of the workers there and what happens to steel and concrete residue of renovation. Again, a story by Gifty Andropia.
Found walking on top of the split bridge, a real scare, which aroused concern about the safety of those who will be working here for some 22 more months. Workers on site did look appropriately dressed for their immediate environment, although one would have expected to see a protective face cover for this gentleman. Dr. Paul Herman assures every protective instrument is intact as long as the workers themselves observe the precautionary measures.
Oh, we have a very strong safety regulations, and everybody has to follow our rules, otherwise we get the problem. And we are taking good care of our workers.
As we made our way around the bridge discussing how much demolition has to be done, he spoke about the residue from the demolition exercise, which includes a substantial amount of steel and concrete. It is apparent that whatever happens to the residue is not a part of the renovator's contract, although Paul Herman gives an assurance it will not become an environmental nuisance.
They need to be demolished, no? And then we separate the steel and the concrete and we dispose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else can they be used for?
Well,
In the technical world.
Steel can always be recycled. It's the only material in the world which can be 100% recycled. It's just molten and it can be used again. The concrete debris can be used as building material or road building, things like this.
Is that a part of your work?
No. We just need to make sure that we dispose everything according to the rules and regulations.
As he has indicated, the steel and concrete could be recycled for other projects. If that is done, Ghana stands to benefit from value for money and a lot of environmental good.
Well, pupils of the Falahya Islamic Basic School in the New Jabing municipality of the Eastern region are in dire need of a decent junior high school classroom block. Authorities say this will enhance effective teaching and learning and also improve their academic performance. Correspondent Haruna Yusuf Wompuni reports.
The Falahya Islamic Basic School was established in 1981 as a private school by Malam Ahmed Tijani. It was later taken over by government in 1989 and has since not seen any major renovation. The school's population, which stood at 413, has now reduced to 310 due to continuous withdrawal of pupils by their parents or guardians because of poor facilities. Also, the only road that leads to the school is in a deplorable state, making it unmotorable for school authorities and the general public. Aisha Idrisu and Muhammad Bashiru Salifu, both JHS 3 students, are worried about the bad nature of school structures. They said the absence of electricity, computer laboratory and decent classroom block is a major concern for the students and school authorities. They want government, NGOs, philanthropists to come to their aid.
Because in the classrooms we don't have electricity and computer labs. So we are pleading with the government to provide us with new infrastructure and a computer lab so that it can enable us to learn well. And sometimes when it rains, the classrooms, the rain enters there. And our staff come home, the teachers have no place to sit when it rains.
It supports us in our academic performance. We and our other fellow students, we all have the same questions, but it affects us in the examination, so we plead to the government to come and help us.
The headmaster of Falahya Islamic Basic School, Isifu Usman, also spoke about the problems facing the school.
It's also a problem for us. We are close by a highway, the Koforidua Somanya highway, and there are no road ramps there, speed ramps there, to slow down the vehicles when they are moving. To the extent that we have recorded, last term and this term, we've recorded 3 accidents. 3 of our pupils have been knocked down by vehicle, and this also puts some fear into the parents and affects the enrollment of the school. From the highway moving to the school, the road is completely eroded. Through our little effort, we've tried to rescue the situation, but because of the speed, by putting there some stones to check the erosion.
Haruna Isifu, Police report from the Eastern region.
Lack of assistance for the secondary school for the deaf is affecting academic activities. The school has on several occasions been compelled to credit foodstuff to feed children, leading to a huge debt. Well, authorities might not be able to open the school for the next academic term due to this very situation. Western Regional Correspondent William Benjamin Peters has filed the next report.
Established in 1971 with 11 students, the secondary school for the deaf, which also happens to be the only school for the deaf in the whole of the Western region, now has a student population of 328 and 12 teachers. The school, since its establishment, is yet to see any major rehabilitation. The visible cracks on the school's walls speak volumes. Authorities say the building keeps sinking day after day, posing a great threat to the students. Only one block accommodates both the male and female students. The dormitory is a source of worry since the state of the structure makes it easy for criminals to invade the dormitories to harm the students. As a result, some of the teachers have to abandon their homes to stay with the students in their dormitories to keep watch over them, whilst the headmaster himself is now staying in the assessment room to also monitor the children. Lack of infrastructure to accommodate the growing population of the school is causing overcrowding in both the classrooms and dormitories, with about 40 students in a class instead of the required 10. Unfortunately, some infrastructure being constructed under the GET fund have been abandoned for years now. There is also the challenge of lack of educational materials, including chalk, which is purchased by the school authorities. The school has no bus to convey the children on field trips, excursions, or even to the hospital when the need arises, since the only vehicle for the school was involved in an accident which led to the death of the former headmaster. The feeding grant for a student is 2 cedis 20 pesos for a day, which is woefully inadequate, and even that is not forthcoming. Authorities have to borrow from creditors to feed their children, with the school owing creditors an amount of 7,114 Ghana cedis, 80 pesos as of last term. The headmaster of the school, Kofi Oti Frempong, in an exclusive interview with Joynews, said the school is likely not to reopen for the next academic term should the situation remain the same.
The challenges that the school is facing is enormous. First is transport. You need to go to the hinterland to look for deaf children who are hiding in their villages. But the vehicle, we had a 4-wheel drive which had an accident, and then the headmaster and then one teacher died on the spot, including the driver sustained serious injury and is no more working. So we don't have vehicle. We need to move from one office to the other, to the churches and to the mosque, to tell people that the government has a school for the deaf at Intrabai.
Meanwhile, some philanthropists from Italy who hail from Secondary Accra have donated some food items to the Secondary School for the Deaf to help address some of their challenges.
Well, so that's it for the morning news update. And before we go, though, a recap of our top stories.
Well, the Korle Bu Accident Unit has recorded some 129 cases and 2 deaths during the Easter celebration.
The Deputy Director in charge of nursing services at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital in Sia Anyate is calling for immediate renovation of the hospital to prevent further fire outbreaks.
And it's been over a month since the Adomi Bridge was closed to traffic. We brought you an exclusive guided tour of the renovation site, and work appears, as we've seen, progressing steadily. So that will be it for the AM News.
Okay, well, we've been told that in the upper west region as well as the upper east region, widowhood as well as female genital mutilation rights, well, they've been waived or wavered from that very community. And so we'll be opening the phone lines later for you to give us your own comment about the current phenomenon there, and really something that many NGOs or advocates will really be gunning for. But in the meantime, we'll have to bring you the latest sports headlines next.
It's brought to us by Cowbell. Stay with us here on the AM show.
All right, back.
Good morning. Time now to talk sports by client courtesy of Cowbell. Now we begin with tennis. We'll go into the football matches very soon with what's making the headlines that Manchester United, David Moyes, since taking over from Sir Alex Ferguson since 1970, has been beaten home and away by Everton, his former side. And we'll get into that detail pretty shortly. But let's check out what happened at the Monte Carlo Masters, where Roger Federer failed to lift the trophy, leaving Stanislav Wawrinka to beat him on the day to lift the trophy.
The Monte Carlo Rolex Masters dished up an all-Swiss final between two best friends and two players who were yet to win the title, as third seed Stanislav Wawrinka took on fourth seed Roger Federer. Wawrinka booked his place after disposing of David Ferrer in the semis, while Federer did away with Novak Djokovic in his tie. Federer took a 4-2 lead in the opening set after breaking Wawrinka in the fifth game and managed to hold all his serves to take the set 6-4. Wawrinka broke Federer's serve in the second game of the second set to take a 2-game lead, but was immediately broken back in the third game as the 17-time Grand Slam champion did well to level the scores. The set went all the way to a tiebreaker, and Wawrinka showed his class as he took it by 7 points to 5 to win the set 7-6. The 29-year-old got off to a good start in the decisive set as he broke Federer in the opening game, then held a serve to take a 2-0 lead. Wawrinka continued to flex his muscles as he broke Federer's serve for a second time and held his in the fourth game. The Australian Open winner only dropped 2 games but held his nerve in the 8th game as he claimed the set 6-2 and clinched his first ever ATP 1000 Masters Championship, coming from a set down.
All right, to football issues we go, and we begin with the English Premier League this weekend. Liverpool ensured that they stretched their lead on the table to 5 points between themselves and Chelsea. And this weekend, coming up this weekend, the two sides are going to meet, and I'm sure that's going to be the decider of who wins the 2013-2014 English Premier League. Liverpool were away to Norwich City over the weekend, and they managed to beat them, and that's how come they managed to stretch their lead between themselves and Chelsea. Let's find out what really happened when the two sides met. Right, The next thing that happened in the EPL this weekend, that happened to be one of my major surprises, was the fact that Arsenal were able to come back to 4th place, beating Everton. Everton actually were 4th before last weekend's games, but Arsenal made sure that they beat Hull City away 3-0 to come back to 4th place. Right, so we're going to that game between Everton and Manchester United. My biggest surprise for the weekend, when Manchester United under David Moyes have been beaten twice by Everton, home and away. I mean, there are so many speculations going on, and today what's trending on social media is the fact that Manchester United are threatening to sack David Moyes. And we're just 2 games to go to the end of the season. I mean, why don't you just wait for him to end the season and then just tell him that, okay, you can pack bag and baggage now. Thanks for doing business with us. But we'll get into those details. In 44 years, wow. So a lot of history being written in the English Premier League this season. I can't really wait for the end of it when... now, I mean, we can convincingly say that Liverpool are the best title contenders. I mean, Chelsea will not come anywhere near, especially after they play their game this weekend. We'll see who actually is going to win that game. But even if Chelsea do win, there's still 1 more game to go, and then it will go down to the wire because it will come to 2 points between Liverpool and Chelsea. But I really hope it goes the other way around, so that Liverpool actually wins over Chelsea. I know Roland Walker will not be so happy to hear this, but unfortunately that is my prediction. We'll see how it goes. So in case you're getting it wrong, or you're having mood swings between Roland and Mama V, this is the reason. It's just that Manchester United haven't done too well, and Chelsea also are struggling a little bit. But I'll put a pit stop to my presentation here this morning and get back on News Today this afternoon with more from the Spanish La Liga, from the German Bundesliga and the Italian Serie A. My name is Baba Tando. Thanks to Carbell, we brought you sports.